Hi, welcome back to Katie's Confections. Yesterday I did a couple videos on making soup in our deluxe cooking blender, and it just sort of got me in the mood for fall and just soups in general. I love soup. So today I'm going to showcase quick cooker white chicken chili in our amazing quick cooker, and it serves 8 people, so it's a great family meal. Very little effort. It's very fast. Quick cooker does all the work for you. So first of all, we need a can of Great Northern beans. So I wanted to show you our smooth edge can opener. And to be honest, when I first got this, I couldn't figure out how to use it. I was just making it more complicated than it is. So you're literally just going to lay it on the can. This is why I was making it harder than it has to be. And then you're just going to turn it. It'll just grab the can. And once you get all the way around, then you just reverse it to release it. And then you see these I call these the parrot teeth. You just use those little parrot teeth to lift the lid right off. And then the great thing, it's called the smooth edge can opener, obviously, because your edges are no longer sharp. You know, like a traditional can, they're sharp. So it's great, especially if you're cooking with kids or just yourself. You don't want to cut yourself with the can. So I'm just going to throw these over here and drain those. We're going to drain and rinse those. So we'll just let those in there to drain while we're doing everything else. So I did do a lot of the chopping ahead of time just to save some time on the video. Nobody wants to sit here and watch me chop things for 15 minutes. Maybe you do, I don't know. But anyway, I did it ahead of time. So we're going to use a whole bell pepper and a jalapeno. And with the jalapeno, you remove the veins and the seeds. And I recommend you either put baggies on your hands or wear gloves because you don't want that oil to be on your hands and touch your eyes later. It's not good. Not good for anybody. So basically, we're going to prepare to chop all our veggies in our manual food processor. This thing is amazing. I love this thing. So I just cut my veggies into chunks. Here's my peppers, onions. Depending on the size of your onion, we need a medium onion. You can quarter them, or usually I cut them in half and then maybe cut them in thirds. It doesn't matter. Just chop them up slightly. And then I have our jalapeno here that I took the seeds out and all the guts out of it before I started our video. So we're going to start with the onion, bell pepper in our manual food processor. So you can just do it a little bit at a time. Throw a little bit of that in here. The key to this is just not to overfill it. You know, I'm tempted to just fill it up to the top, and then it's just harder to chop it up. Now, I'm not going to go super fine because I'm just going to keep adding to it. Put the rest of our pepper in there. And it all depends on how fine you like it. According to the recipe, then you're going to put the onions and the jalapeno in on top of this, and you're going to keep chopping the bell pepper. But I don't want it that fine. In my chili, I would like a little more texture to it. So as you can see, all perfectly chopped. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in our quick cooker. We'll add the oil later on when we're going to sear it, but it doesn't hurt it to put it in here now. So the blades come out of this, which is great. I'm going to be real fussy about it because I'm just going to put more stuff in there. And the blades and the base are both dishwasher safe. It also comes with a storage lid, so if I were making salsa or something like that in here, I can actually make the salsa right in the manual food processor, put the cap on it, put it in the fridge, ready for a party or whatever, ready for later if you don't need it all the first time around. So I'm just going to throw the rest of my onion in here and jalapeno. Sure, rinse that off my hands. I actually use this manual food processor macaroni salad to chop all my onions, all my celery. It's much faster than chopping it by hand, and I don't have to get a giant food processor out to do it. So again, we're going by what your preference is on size. I'm just gonna clean this off in the quick cooker. The top you have to hand wash but it's super easy. You just wash it and then let it dry. We use one of our mini scrapers. You guys know if you watch my other videos, my favorite spatula. Okay, I'm gonna put that in there. Okay. Now, normally we would put our oil in first, but we need a tablespoon of olive oil. Again, because I already put my vegetables in here, I'm just gonna dump it in. It doesn't really matter. This is the mini Easy Read measuring cup. Also my favorite because it's tiny and cute. Good for tablespoons, quarter cup. And then we're gonna turn the quick cooker to sear. And this is a function that when I first got my quick cooker I didn't use a lot, but I have found that for you want to brown your meats before you make a soup, or yesterday we had some chicken that wasn't quite cooked all the way. You could just turn it back on to sear, or you just want to boil your soup, if you want to boil some of the liquid off, it's a great function to have. So we're just going to turn that on. Just going to mix that around a little bit since my oil is on top. So this is going to saute our veggies right in here, which is awesome. You don't have to do it in a separate pot. Less dishes, that's always the key. So while that's happening, we are going to press our garlic in there. And the garlic press, I had the original garlic press, and I actually just got rid of it when I got this one for free. I probably had mine for close to 20 years. And there wasn't anything wrong with it, it just was scratched up and didn't look as nice as it used to. And when I got this one free, I just swapped it out. But you don't have to peel the garlic for our garlic press. You can just throw it in there. And this bulb of garlic actually had a lot of tiny little cloves, so I'm just going to put multiple cloves in there, and we're just going to squeeze it into the quick cooker. And then check this out. It just pulls the skin right off of your garlic. Now, it does come with a little tool that helps you to get out the pieces that are in the bottom. Ours went into the garbage disposal, so I'm waiting on a new one to show up, but normally you can do that if you need to for the bottom. So we have the equivalent of 2 cloves of garlic. Again, mine were tiny, so I just sort of eyeballed it. So you just pull the skins right out of there. You didn't have to peel that or do any of that stuff. So. You'll start to hear it when it gets hot. It starts to sizzle. Normally you'd put your oil in and let that sizzle a little bit. It shouldn't take long for that to heat back up. We also need a teaspoon of salt. We're going to add to that, and I'm using my adjustable measuring spoon, you'll see, for that and our seasoning that we're going to use later on. I have multiple sets. 1, because we also run these little plastic things through the garbage disposal, but 2, because when I cook, if I don't want to mix things, I don't want to stick my chili lime seasoning in my salt container. That way I can keep moving and don't have to wash things in between. Alright, so we got the salt in there. Cook and stir for 2 to 3 minutes until soft. So basically, just like you would in a pan. Okay, so we've allowed that to sear for 2 to 3 minutes so that our veggies have gotten soft. So now we're just going to hit cancel. And then we have 2 tablespoons of flour. We're just going to put that in and toss it around to coat it. Then we add chicken broth, 2 cups of chicken broth. I'm using our Easy Read measuring cups for this too. I'm using the big one, the 4 cups. I didn't for the milk, but we do have a 2-cup size. However, sometimes when it's up to the very top, you know, there's a bigger chance of spilling it. So we're going to add the vegetable broth, or the chicken broth, excuse me, and a cup of frozen corn. I have just shy of a cup. That's what I had, so that's what we're using. Just going to stir that around. And seasoning mix. Now the recipe on Pampered Chef calls for the Southwestern seasoning mix. I don't have any of that. I'm going to use our new spring, came out in the spring, the chili lime seasoning, because I thought that would also be delicious. So just going to pour that in there, mix that up a little bit. Okay, so we have the broth and the seasoning and the corn in there. So we're going to add our chicken. The great thing about using these cutting mats, it comes with a set of 4. So obviously I cut my vegetables on the orange one, and now I have the chicken one here, and then I could just throw it in the dishwasher, and these don't take up a lot of room in the dishwasher, which is nice, especially if you have a small dishwasher like I do. Also, I like to use the coated knives for that as well, just because with chicken I like to be able to throw my knives in the dishwasher, so those are dishwasher safe. Okay, so the chicken is in. Wash my hands real quick. Okay, so just turn it until you hear the music, and then we will turn it to our soup and stock option. We'll hit the time and drop it down to 8 minutes. We'll hit start. Once the little dashes stop going, you know that it's up to pressure. And once it's up to pressure, it'll start, it'll pop up with 8 minutes. Okay, so as you can see, we're up to the pressure level it needs, so it started at 8 minutes, so that's cooking. So while we're doing that, we're going to grate our cheese, and we're going to use our microplane adjustable coarse grater. And if you're watching this and right now they're temporarily out of stock, you can let me know. I can put you on my list to let you know when they become available. This thing's amazing. So it has this guard on the front. And I'm not a huge one for guards, but I store it in our utensils drawer here, and I am very happy that I do use the guard because it prevents somebody from sticking their hand in the drawer to get something and nicking up their fingers. So that is always good. So this grater is really cool because you push the handle to the side, and then you can, this is usually how I grate it, you can sort of make an A-frame with it like that, or you can stand it up like this and you can grade right into a dish. You can lay it flat on a dish, whatever your preference is or whatever you're using. I like to stand it up like this. So we need about 3/4 of a cup, 4 ounces total of cheese. And you're supposed to just reserve 1/4 of a cup of it for a garnish. But we're not going to eat the chili right now. We're probably going to have it for dinner later on, so I'm just going to add all of the cheese except the small bits that get down too far. There's a guard also for grating cheese. It's a good idea to use it. It saves your fingers. I understand I'm not using it right now, but also when we cook with my nephew, it would be really good for him. So very easily, very quickly, we can grate all that cheese. So we're just going to have that on hand for when this is finished, because we'll need that for the next step. And when that's finished, I will come back and I will show you what's happening. Oh, also, now I can just throw this in the dishwasher, which is awesome. I am all about the dishwasher life, so we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to use my large chef tongs, get the chicken out. I'm going to put it in one of our glass mixing bowls, because we're going to use the awesome salad choppers to chop it up before we put it back in. Okay, I believe we got it all. So in the meantime, while we chop up the chicken, we're also going to add our beans that we drained and rinsed earlier, and a cup of 2% milk. Oh, and the cheese. We can't forget the cheese. That's the most important part. So this is still plenty hot. If it takes you a while to chop up your chicken, you can always turn it back on to sear just for a couple minutes. You don't want to do it too long because you don't want to scorch the bottom of your soup, but it will also keep it hot if you need a little more time to get all the cheese. You don't ever want to miss any cheese. Okay, there's that, and then we're going to use our salad choppers. You've seen me use these for salad, but you can also use these for meats, chicken things. So if you can see, we just also much easier because obviously this chicken is super hot, so we don't have to wait and let it cool and then chop it up. And you can make this as small as you would like. Chop it. You can see how that worked out. And we're just going to put that back in the soup, and then we're ready to eat. That's all there is to it. I will dish some out here in a bowl so that you can see it up close. I don't know if you can see it without me spilling it, but it looks delicious anyway. So white chicken chili, super easy again, makes 8 servings, so it's a great family meal, great for during the week, because obviously when you're not demonstrating everything, it goes together very quickly, very little effort. Thanks so much.